3 or 4 last year, and that's what I am seeing, so, we actually, if
over
we did
300
anything, we would've added more going to the general fund when we changed those numbers to take away from like the cemetery
Right, when we
and everything, so I'm trying to figure out
reallocated.
how is it not flowing, how are we down? That's what I'm trying to understand.
Well, a big chunk of it goes into the street lighting fund, that's 300 and, I think we put in $340-some thousand this year so far in street lighting.
And how does that compare to last year? Cause we paid for street lighting last year, I know it went up, but it,
Yeah, the prices have gone up, but, they haven't paid the December bill, so I don't know how it's gonna end for the year, but. We need much more revenue than just income tax to support the general fund and the cemetery. The cemetery is now a negative balance, and so we will have to supplement the cemetery's revenue with additional general fund income, which,
And as I say, those, we're talking more the permanent appropriations with that kind of thing. I mean,
I'm hoping we have enough money at the end of this
Yeah.
year to cover this year's.
Right.
And then January is just, we'll see.
I see you looking at things there. Brian, do you have some questions?
I,
Oh, I always have questions.
Go ahead.
Just, I guess just, not to, focus in on any one thing, but like the cemetery department, I guess because I sit on the cemetery board, or I'm on the cemetery committee. Can I ask, are they aware of this? I mean, because we've sat in many a meeting and it's not really
They
ever come
should
up.
be. We had put in the permanent budget this year to supplement them if they needed to at the end of the year.
Okay.
And,
Because I know they also just did some price increases, and that's not gonna take place until January 1.
their revenue this year is down from their services, and their sales are down this
Did
year
see that.
compared to last year's. And with the income tax being down,
you keep saying income tax is down, so like, so the income tax isn't down, but like the
in his
revenue
fund,
from it is
the
down.
income
So
tax
like-
down.
The
is
income
down
tax
in his
percentage
fund.
that went to
Yeah.
his fund is down
Okay.
from
yeah,
previous years,
yeah,
yes.
So, yes,
Yeah.
from the cemetery,
Mhm.
correct, yeah.
Now, is that because when we set the budget for this year, we moved it down because we allocated it less?
Yes, we do, I will answer that one. We do every year an ordinance that gives percentages to different areas of the general fund's money.
Can I address that?
Yes, please.
In the 2024 budget, it was allocated a 7% for the cemetery, Mr. Sears. We sat here, went around, and stripped, he was 4% off of it to make ends meet. My notes have that it went towards police and fire pensions and fire department overtime. At that time, I felt it should have been addressed at that point there, but I said publicly, I'll live with it for a year. We'll help get through the budget. Come to 2025, whatever you wanna call it, the unwillingness to finally go, come to moment of addressing it, it stays at a 3%. So in 2025, I get with Marvin, I say, okay, hey, let's go back to what it was, because I said that publicly, that I'll go with it for a year. So what I'd end up doing is, I made some legislation that was, only gave me 2% more and 2% to the street department, which is funds that I felt that was in my control, I should be able to control them. Long story short, they got denied, so here we are. Because it isn't three guys, full-time guys and a superintendent that's causing the city to go under, or to be that short. No one can sit here and tell me that. No way. That'd be a bold-faced lie. So again, that's what I tried to do, tried to address it. In 2024, it should have been addressed. Whatever that problem was, again, my notes state that it was for police and fire pensions and fire department overtime. Instead of dealing with it in 24, here we are having to try to deal with it in 26. And what that does in the meantime, it shortfalls the cemetery and shortfalls general services.
And I agree with you, Ronnie, I remember that whole conversation, but also at the same time, we were solvent then at the cemetery, right? I mean, we were doing.
But this
we
was
were doing
gonna come.
okay, and I haven't heard different since then.
This
you know,
was
so
gonna
I mean,
come. This was gonna come.
Yeah.
And that's that was my point, it's coming. I mean, you just
Well, we
can't-
put more,
you can't gut it and not expect it not to be
Yeah.
coming.
Right.
Right.
I mean, it's here.
We've grown down there, I mean.
Yeah. And I think
That's
their
part of it,
revenue,
I think.
what was their revenue in 24?
More than this year's, but.
But I mean,
don't
what was
remember
it?
exactly what it was.
'Cause I think this year, I looked, it was
But
like,
Construction.
it
I
was like
guess,
90 grand or something? That sound right?
I guess one thing, and because I'm actually, well, I mean, you guys are there too, I mean,
Right.
I'm on the cemetery, I sit there, so I kind of, this is probably the one I actually know something a little bit about. When we say that we had a good year, wasn't there a situation where somebody came in and they bought a lot? There was a big chunk of lot sales that happened in 1 year,
Right.
right? So if that's, I kind of almost feel like if that's not a normal situation, you can't use that as a budgeting, you know what I mean?
Oh,
If you're
absolutely not.
normally
Right,
selling 10
yeah.
lots a
Absolutely not.
year, and we sold 60 in 2023,
Right.
can't
Oh, I agree
really
with
use
that.
that as a,
No.
you know, as an indices, I guess,
Absolutely not.
for budgeting purposes, but
Well, I mean, and that goes to another question. If you have a $90,000 and you're generating $90,000. And I'm not picking on anything, but do we get 90,000 from the police department? To generate some money?
If I would, I'd like to know what we can charge for the police department.
Well, that's what I'm saying, but what I'm
Yeah.
saying is, it's not
I-
a
yeah.
cemetery
No,
problem.
it's not a cemetery.
They
problem.
are generating 90,000, we would be dancing the streets if the police could generate 90,000.
But they can't.
I understand.
And if we do away with the police, the cemetery will be probably generating a lot more money. Okay, same with fire. I understand where you're coming from,
right.
but the implication to the public is that we should cut fire and police, and we really can't do that, and still protect this city. How many or how many firefighters have we lost this year, Mr. Mayor?
3.
3. Have we replaced them?
Nope.
So right there, if you were talking about we should lay off firefighters, we have essentially done that through attrition.
The thing is, that is not my point on it. My point is what it was, and it was not that issue.
I get that.
That was not, I'm not,
And we
don't
were,
fire anybody. I
we,
would let
we
them
were
keep-
basically told by the folks at Ray that that was the way we should go. Was
I
to
put in
reduce that amount.
$65,000, yes,
Yeah.
Ray and Associates, because that happened before I was auditor. They reduced it
Mhm.
down to 3% because there was a problem budgeting in 2024, so this isn't a new problem.
Right.
And so, Ray and Associates advised that we keep it at 3% and throw in whatever we think we may need to supplement at the end of the year.
From the general fund, where that money was going anyway.
Yes,
So some of that money is rotating back through. It's not part of the percentage, but they are getting some of those
Right.
funds back through the general fund.
right.
So it's not like we stole it all. I just want to make that clear. And we're in a difficult situation. We've got to trim everywhere we can, and sometimes there's areas that we can't. I think it's going to be very difficult. We did add one police officer, but that was a replacement, wasn't it? So, you know, we're doing the best we can there in every department. But police and fire, every city you look at, they're nothing but an expense, and the vast majority of it is manpower. Either we do with them or we do without them.
And actually, if we do less firemen, the more overtime we have,
Mm-hmm.
with the setup we have now.
Right.
Yeah, and again, I wanna go on record, I'm not advocating for any, I'm just making a point of,
where the money
what was
went.
taken.
I get
and what
where the
don't
money's
have.
going.
We can go out, if we wanna get 30 more of each in each department tomorrow, I
I'm-
support that,
I'm open to suggestions though on,
that.
But-
on other things to do.
yeah. Besides gut the.
Besides
cemetery,
gutting
besides
any
gutting the
department.
street.
Well,
Yeah.
let's focus on the temporary budget.
Absolutely.
No, I just want to be on record saying.
Yeah.
This gives us something to work with.
But does it?
It keeps our doors open.
I mean, it keeps our doors, but
I'm
like, to
not
me,
even sure about
from the
that,
sounds
to
of
be
it, it's
honest. I just-
worthless. Like, it really, we're so far off that, I mean, we have to do this, but
All-
like,
all
it
the
sounds
work's
like we are
permanent.
so
This is
far
just-
off that this
This is just
isn't, this
because we
is
have to, because we're not the
strictly
federal,
worthless, yeah.
we're not the federal government, we don't get to wait, 6 months to pass a budget or
Yeah,
whatever.
continuing resolutions don't count here.
Yeah, right, CRs, yeah.
This is just,
Mr. Riveth wanted, you have the personnel services and then the other column. What does the other column represent?
The operating. The personal services is just the.
Okay, so
um,
that's
It's
your
your operating
salaries and
expenses.
then,
yeah.
and then your other is your operating, okay. So that's why for some of these, there's zeros, because there is like
Civil
police,
service has
law
none.
enforcement, yeah, right, that,
Yeah.
okay.
The documents here.
oh, sorry.
Yes, please.
And last year was extraordinary circumstances with a brand new auditor coming in and everything. Normally, we will be getting draft number one hopefully soon.
Oh.
So it's not like last year was terrible as far, I mean, it had nothing to do with you, it wasn't your fault. It's just the way.
It's the revenue problem.
It is a
It-
revenue
It's
problem.
going, you're going to get it last minute this year too, because we don't have the revenue to cover even this year's
tell them
expenses,
they're gonna
let
be a little bit
alone
more
add
drastic
on
than
the
what they are
raises
doing.
that we gave and
That we can't make
the additional expenses that are being added to the
A
budget.
working-
We don't have the revenue.
But from what you're saying, if it's this out of line, the only way to make up the difference is people. People are your largest expense, cause we can't not just, okay, this year we're just gonna buy, like, no police cars, we're gonna buy no new garbage trucks, plow
No
trucks or
salt.
anything, because then guess what happens in 2027? We're even worse spot. So like, if you're saying the revenue is that bad,
Mhm.
then the only way to make up that money is people.
Yes.
I'm just, like, right? Because you can't just
Yeah.
say, we're just not gonna buy any new vehicles this year, because 2027, we're gonna be even more upside down. You know, and I sat here and said it about the cemetery at that time, in my first 3 months here, I said, we're just kicking the can down the road,
Yep.
and you can go back and listen. It was plain as day what was gonna happen, and it did happen, and Ron was right, I think at that point, it was brought up that money was gonna get moved back, well, the problem is, Ron's exactly right, we didn't fix it, so now we're here fixing it for 2026, and it just continues to compound, and we're, like, instead of fixing the problem before it gets too bad, we're just trying to like go this way. So what I don't wanna see happen this year is where we're just like, oh, police can't buy any cars, Ron, you can't buy anything, and I think you just had one blow up in the road plowing or catch on fire or something.
Right.
You know, or, hey, Park, you can't buy any new lawnmowers, and we're like, that's our fix.
That's
Well,
not
no,
a
it's not a fix, cause 2027 is gonna be brutal. So that's what I'm worried that's gonna happen
Those are
by this
exact-
conversation.
That's exactly what the fixes were for this year to allow for these increases. So that's why I said there is no way we will have enough revenue to cover, I don't even know if we'll have enough of it for January.
Yeah, and when I looked at it, just so everybody knows too, like what Chris talked about, I don't know if everybody knew that, we had an old dump truck that did the hills, and it caught on fire and burned up the other day. We've got
Spectacularly.
4 plow trucks that go out, and they qualify for historical plates.
Mhm.
So I think to Chris's point, I think Ray had, I believe, 2 of them in there for that. First snowstorm we had, 4 of them went down, it was on the road about an hour, and that's $339,000, so we had it for that.
Right.
So I see you there, and then out of the general services, on Ray, I believe, I'm not 100% sure, I'd have to, I only looked at it briefly, but in materials, I believe he had like 600,000, and he ended up getting budgeted of 264, so 336,000. So what everybody gotta realize here is that's hot mix in the summer, patch holes, that's blacktop, and that's salt. And if no one can move on these roads and we have no salt, you can have 3,600 policemen, 3,600 firemen, they ain't moving, because we don't have trucks to plow the road or salt the road or anything else. So, but I'm just, both those have been gutted pretty good too, and you're just not gonna have material just to go down the road or, that just, and I'll do what I can, don't get me wrong, but you guys' phones will be ringing just as much as mine.
Yep.
You can't patch a hole because you don't have material, or you can't salt. And we've cut the salting back, since I've been here, we changed it a lot already to where you go to an intersection or a side street, you plow and then you only go into a 50-foot from a stop sign or something like that, but we've changed that a lot, so I don't know what we can do there more, so as far as salt.
So I guess that's my point, is whenever you're doing a temporary budget, what has already been ripped out of this temporary budget that, because you don't have as much of a detail, that like, you're gonna come back and we're gonna be talking about it in hopefully January and February and not March.
Right.
And like, when we're talking about this, well, we approved that in the temporary budget. I'm like, well, well, that was in the temporary, so that's how it was, so that's the stuff that I guess when I look at this, I don't know what has been taken out, whatever, and are we gonna get here and say, well, we would like, well, that wasn't in the temporary budget. So that's where I struggle with this temporary budget, is the unknown there. And I'm going to guess it's not gonna get fixed in my unknown, and we're gonna have to make a decision with that unknown known in my head, and it's not gonna fix, which you don't wanna be in my head, trust me. But it's just,
Rent-free.
that's the stuff that's worrisome for me. And I don't wanna keep pounding and pounding and pounding, people getting raises is the problem, because we still need to make sure our employees are getting paid
Right.
a reasonable wage to work here and a fair wage to work here. So, yes, the union contracts got approved, and did it put a burden on the city? It did. Absolutely did. But, that's what is done, that is done. But at the end of the day, the only true way to save money is people. And yeah, if the layoff is a dirty word, a bad word, but it is a word that might have to come up.
May.
And, because, we might have, how many total employees do we have in the city everywhere, Mayor? Do you have any idea roughly?
Roughly 150.
So if we took 100, and I'm not saying this is gonna happen, so I'm
Yes.
just gonna put it out there, because it could have to be
Speculation,
talked
just-
about. If you have 150 employees and you had to lay off 5, but 145 are getting paid a fair wage, and they're getting paid a good living for that, then yeah, it might happen. I mean, 5 people is, I just think everything needs to be on the table, and we can't
Most
just sit
definitely.
here and say layoff is a dirty word, because
No.
sometimes it happens, and
And-
I'm not saying it will.
And in the
But-
same breath, you say the safety forces can't generate money, they can if you put a safety levy on, safety force levy on.
Well, that's what
And
we have
you
to
also gotta
discuss.
remember that if you first people you lay off, correct me if I'm wrong, with union contracts, the crossing guards,
Yep.
the pool, no swimming pools,
Yes. Yeah,
no mowing.
Well, I'm just-
Well.
yeah, there's a pecking
no,
order too.
Yeah, it's part-timers in that department.
Right.
It's not,
If you should, yeah,
And
if
I'm
you
just-
lay off in safety forces, you can't lay off in,
yeah, if you lay off in safety forces, the crossing guards are the first to go.
crossing guards is first to go,
Or
and any
police.
part-timers, any part-timers are
And
the
my
first to
point
go.
is that I'm not gonna make sure our roads are salted. I'm gonna make sure our people are taken care of. I'm gonna
Yes.
make sure they get their water and
Yes.
sewer. I'm gonna make sure that we don't have to drive on third world country roads.
Right.
Like that are bumps everywhere, and that's the stuff that I'm concerned about. And I don't wanna lay anybody off either,
I
no
don't
one
either.
does. But if this is true that the revenues, we need to look into everything, and then, Dan, at the end of the day, maybe the answer is that you gotta go back and ask the people. for
Yeah,
money.
I think we have to look at everything else first, but that option is also on the table.
I can't do that till everything's been exhausted.
Right.
If
Yeah.
you moved all that into that would make everything solvent. I'm scared.
We gotta pass the levy.
It would have to pass.
Right. And
Safety
I
force.
think to do that,
you'd have to have the safety forces involved.
But to do that, to Councilman Cramble's point, I think you have to show people that you've done
Due diligence.
everything you
Yes.
possibly can, and you've trimmed everything you can before you go to them and ask for more money.
When will the taxes show up on the reevaluation of all real estate? When did that show up?
Did they give you an answer, Heather? 'Cause
I
I think we were
do, I
gonna
don't
reach out to
know.
them.
It also could be income tax too, it wouldn't necessarily have
Yeah.
to be real estate. Yeah, if you
Yeah,
get-
cause I,
if you go up 1/4% or.
so the way that's structured, the money we
You'd wanna
get
go
from
half.
property tax
Half
goes
percent.
towards the
Half
police.
percent would cover it, probably.
And fire
General
pension?
the police and fire pension,
Okay, so some of it does already go in the general fund.
yes,
Yes.
Okay, that was,
Mhm.
yeah.
I was trying
And
to look
then
on
the
the
fire
budget, what's
department voting.
26 gonna look like?
right. Well, that's a good point. We don't
Revenue-wise.
know what that looks, I mean, that's a valid point. We don't know.
I'm
Well,
just
let's
saying-
find
I'm
out.
just saying personally, me, I would be more on board with that than I
Is,
would.
is there a way to
laying people off.
estimate? Is there an estimate?
I sent an email, but I don't think I got a response.
You need to pick up the phone
So
sometimes.
what is that, the property tax? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
property.
30% is pretty much,
I'm sorry, I was doing my budget on my phone, I thought that's what he was talking about.
Okay. We obviously have challenges ahead of us. And we have a lot of the things that we're discussing right here are being discussed. Things like, are there departments that, you know, we could do without or not do without? Are there services that we do or don't want to put into the, but right now, we are dealing with, we have to get a temporary appropriation budget to be open in January. And then we have to hash through separately these issues for
Right.
March.
Yep.
And I've kind of let this go off the rails, because I think it's good that we have these discussions out here. So I've kind of let it go that way. But let's circle back now to ordinance 23, 2025, Dan, not 26. Questions about it, so that we can decide whether we're gonna take action to put anything on the agenda for Monday night.
Otter, are you comfortable with this? That you did?
Yeah, this was just, I stripped most of anything that I thought would be unnecessary for the first 3 months. I think departments can still
Operate.
get rid of some more of their operating expenses. I still think we're paying high prices for certain things, and I think they can cut back some more.
Should be able to work within this and be okay.
They were supposed to have done that this past year, but they didn't, so I don't know, it's,
Yeah.
you know, what we need to do in light fire under them, but I think they
We
just
will do
left
all we
it.
can do to help you with that. I have matches.
Okay.
Questions? Questions? How about you, Mr. Sears?
No.
Administration?
That's it.
Are we to take any action on 23, 2025?
So I'll make a motion that we add this ordinance number 23, 2025 to, it'll be this coming Monday, which is what, 22nd?
22nd.
22nd agenda, and we will ask to suspend the rules and pass on first reading, correct?
Thank you, Mr. Crandall. Do I have a
I'll
second?
second it.
Okay, I will just take a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, like sign? Be it noted then that we are going to forward this to the full council and ask for suspension of rules. And we will then ask to pass this so that we can close out business on the 22nd with a working budget for the first 3 months. Thank you. Also tonight, I believe the auditor had a request through, Mr. Law Director, do we have an ordinance number on that? I did not get back to my email, or do we need to take up the reappropriations that she's requesting? Do we need to hold a meeting before the council meeting?
That's what I sent last night.
Yeah, you were
I asked you, I
on it.
think,
Yeah.
September, October, to make the two requisition.
You can make a motion for that, I don't have the legislation done, I was in court most of the day.
Okay,
Have the law director draw.
Hence why you're dressed
yes.
up.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm in my
then
monkey suit.
we are going to ask the law director to draw up the legislation for the reappropriations to the permanent appropriations that the auditor has requested. Try to run two words together there. I believe we should probably hold a brief meeting then before the council meeting to go through that legislation and make a recommendation. You guys agree with that? I don't think we need a motion for that, do we?
Yeah, I think we still have to vote.
Okay, I would accept a motion to do all that stuff I just said.
I'll make a motion.
And I'll second that.
Okay,
I won't be here on Monday, I'm having a medical procedure. them.
Okay.
as Sedative, so.
I think you guys all received an email with the spreadsheet, correct? Do you have questions about those reappropriations, or is there anything you want to share with us so we can go into that meeting knowing?
Well, I was
Get
just
so
saying,
that
we
I
only
don't
have.
get a copy.
Okay, pardon?
I sent it,
You sent it to, I think
I
me,
sent it to
Steve,
them.
and
Marvin.
Marvin, I think.
I believe.
Then I need to send you
Okay.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So from, yeah, if you just, you wanna, yeah, if you just wanna explain it and.
Yeah, so in the general fund, you know, we only have 2 weeks left in the year, so I just took appropriations from where I thought we wouldn't need it, especially from the park. I know he's gonna be on vacation, I think, to the end of the year. So I didn't think he'd be spending, he had like, for park and recreation in his other total, he has like 88,000, I only took 60,000. And they're gonna come up in under budget at the park. So I just took appropriations from where I thought we wouldn't be spending for the next 2 weeks. And I put, so in fire and general fund, you know, Chris had asked me, I had put $300,000. Hopefully they won't need $300,000 in general fund. The issue is they get paid from Fund 225 and Fund 101 and some from the ambulance fund. All three of those funds are still short on revenue, so I don't know where we're gonna have the revenue to pay this at the end of the year. So if we don't get enough revenue in 225, we need to pay them out of 101. So that's why the appropriations are so large in 101, and they're also large in 225, because if they do get the revenue in 225, I can pay them mostly out of 225 and less out of 101. So it's just going back and forth, trying to see who's gonna come up with the money to pay.
So you're basically putting it in both to make sure we have it in at least one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, I'd rather be covered and have a
I was hoping
carryover.
to not have to come back.
Not a whole lot going on at the park
The
in
last-
the last couple
right,
weeks.
right.
Well, that's
Right.
that's the only thing I wanted to ask about, and an auditor, or maybe Ron can answer that too, is that other total that would be coming out of the parks, is that something that they had hoped to carry over to do a project
General fund
potentially
doesn't get
next year, or
carryover.
they don't get it? Okay, I just wanted to make sure, okay, so there's no carryover, so they're not gonna use it, so
They
we're,
needed it this year, and we put a spending freeze at the end of the year, because I don't think we're gonna have enough cash.
okay.
Yeah. They need the money, and
What did, like, when you say needed it but weren't able to spend it, what was like something that they would have used that on?
Ron, do you know what they needed that for? Let me look at,
Like the park,
Probably the vehicles or something.
The park is-
I don't know what was put in there, I just know that we had
Probably
50K
swimming
for
pool
a
repairs.
grant.
Oh crap money.
We had a 50 grand for, is that part of it? I don't know.
which, for what?
the park.
Park, I think, was that where, I think we're,
I just saw that amount and I thought that was a lot, I was shocked that they were under budget.
we have the
by
Kimball money.
165, 120.
Is that part of it?
No, that's in the master capital fund.
Okay,
which I believe the
I'm
master
sorry.
capital fund going forward just needs to be saved.
He had had a
for
bunch of things he was gonna
building
do, and then got shut down,
projects.
so. He had had the
Yeah.
pavilions up on the hill, he was
Okay.
gonna do, and then just couldn't afford to do them, so we didn't.
Okay,
Yeah.
Things that need to be done that would fall more into a wish list than, oh
Yes.
God, we can't go
Yes,
without this.
correct.
Okay.
Correct,
Yeah.
Got it,
I-
thank
I
you.
hate to use the word wish list because they are necessary repairs.
yeah.
that was just a large from them, and, I obviously would thank Adam for falling on the sword for everybody.
Yeah, we had 3 of them up there we was gonna do.
I didn't discuss this with anybody, so he probably doesn't know I took it. We have 2 weeks left and he's
Yeah,
on
it-
vacation, so.
You would know, yeah, okay.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, we, your money, have a good vacation.
Heather, I appreciate what you've been going through. Thank you for your hard work on this. I know it's not easy, it's not easy for any of us, so I want to express my thanks. I know you've been dealing with some health issues, and I pray that's going well, and I appreciate you being here through that, so thank you. Do we have, yes,
Before we adjourn, I just wanted to make a point. If you've got something you're gonna do first, I need to.
I'm not
ask-
going to adjourn yet.
All right, well, I need the council president to do something for me while we're all here.
Okay.
And I also have a question for the auditor.
Okay. I did receive a message from a department head that said if you have specifics that you think we should be cutting, if you'd get a list of those to them, that would be very helpful, where you think we can save. We're all open to direction, okay? With that, Mr. Law Director.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My question was, and I've been meaning to get to you, but I've been so busy. Did we ever hear back on that OPERS carryover that we sent for approval several months ago? Because I saw that the court got approved.
Yes. And I thought I'd sent that to you, but it's probably still hanging out in my outbox.
If it was approved, we're good to go. If not, I was gonna use the contact information the court administrator gave me to see where we are
Shake a
on
tree.
that.
I think they're giving themselves raises again for 2026, so I don't even know if it's relevant to do one for this year. Maybe save it for next year.
I was under the impression that had to be done before the end of the year. Does that have to be done before the end of the year or not?
It was supposed to have been done immediately, yes.
But have we even heard back, because we sent that to them like in the summertime, and we were waiting for OPERS to approve what we did. Have we ever heard back from them?
That's what Judy just sent.
Yeah, Judy heard back, but we also did one for the city.
Yeah, that one,
I
like I
haven't
said,
heard.
I thought I sent it with Judy's, but it might be, I'll get it to you tomorrow, or today,
Okay, to
if
your
it's in
knowledge,
my outbox, or my inbox.
do those have to be approved before the end of the year?
Probably. I mean, they should have been approved in the 80s.
Oh, right. Yeah, basically, to bring everybody up to speed, OPERS did some type of audit, and said we've been doing stuff wrong since the 80s.
Okay.
That we needed to correct it, and the court did one, I did one for the city, and we sent it to OPERS to get approval, and Judy the court just got theirs back, saying it was okay. And I hadn't heard whether ours came back yet or not, and I was getting worried, because I am under the impression that has to be done before the end of the year.
Okay.
And so I would ask, what committee meetings are there for?
Just finance right now.
No, I have salary
Oh,
for
salary and
15
finance,
minutes.
yeah.
Which you.
So,
gotta
how
do.
Which
long do you
OPERS
need?
is kind of,
Just
Yeah.
15 minutes to approve the legislation.
Okay.
I'm sure Chris could be able to, if you get him to him, I'm sure.
If nobody else has any objection, I'll send it to Chris for salary.
Well, I mean,
And I'll
OPERS
sign it to Chris's.
is salary, basically, I mean, it's wages.
Yeah,
I mean, really, you can put it.
either one.
We can just see
Anyone,
who
yeah.
has, yeah, if we have time and,
Hell, even special contacts, that could be.
You got it.
okay.
Do you need a longer meeting or?
Are you having one then?
Yes, we're going to have one to go over these legislation that the law director is gonna bring up for us. It shouldn't be a long meeting.
Mine shouldn't be long either, I mean,
Okay.
If you'd like, I'll go 6:45 and you could start, you were at 7, right?
I was 7:15, I was just doing
Okay.
15 minutes, yeah.
And either one of you, because it deals with personnel, can handle the OPERS legislation, so I
Right.
don't care who does it.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
If you wanted to
just
make,
having the time, we might as well just do yours at 6:45. Are we allowed to put immediately after?
Uh-huh.
yeah, yes,
Yeah,
yes. 6:45 and you start
I'll just
immediately
change yours
after and let's go with
immediately
that.
yeah.
Set records.
And you'll be here to explain it.
Yeah, well, I kind of need her to explain it.
Well, she won't be here.
Oh, she won't be here to
No,
explain
I'm
it?
getting it for
Well, yeah, what I'm gonna say is that, what I just told you, OPERS did an audit, they said we need to change it, and it took a long time to get back from them, the approval. I mean, it took months to get back anything from them, and we did this in the summertime, and, it took months, and, apparently we gotta get it passed.
This is a procedural change or a,
Yeah, it's just
Okay.
a house cleaning thing.
okay,
right?
So we're doing the courts and the councils?
And for, no, not councils, it's for the
ASME
ASME
service.
service.
Service, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
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 Yeah, they get the 4.5%, city picks up their 4.5, an extra 4.5% for them, which I think there was a House bill or something in there
Yeah.
recently, that they're trying to eliminate that anyways, but it was given when they first joined the union back in the late 80s, early 90s. And they should have had an ordinance to allow that, and they didn't have an ordinance.
Okay.
So we're just creating the ordinance. I thought I sent it to you the same day that I said Judy sent hers, but.
Keep us in compliance, essentially.
Mhm.
So that's what we'll plan on,
Okay.
6:45.
And we did have a
yeah.
motion to have the law director draw up the reappropriations. I had a second, correct? And all in favor was aye, just to make sure we're on record voting. So we will do that. Is there any other business to come before the
Can I ask
committee?
one while we have Heather
Yes.
here, because I think it's technically under her, which I just learned this, the income tax administrator. We have, so we're talking about revenue and income tax. How are we coming along with some of those ones out there that are past due? Because I think, I don't know if it was Mayor Day that asked about this.
We're
at
sending
one
some
point,
letters,
or-
yeah.
Yeah, we got some people that are past due on their paying, and we're talking about having a revenue problem. How is the income tax administrator coming along with getting those ratified? I know,
As far as I know, it's still sitting in the prosecutor's office.
All right, I'm gonna fix that. I'm working on a memorandum. I've spent more time on tax law in the last 2 weeks than I have in my entire career, including when I took the tax class in law school. And with regards to, we've got a business here that is not withholding income tax. And I was working on this, I've got a huge memorandum that I'm typing up for this, but I don't have a secretary and I'm like this, all right? And the research showed that under the Ohio Revised Code, we cannot go after somebody criminally for failing to withhold income tax. We can collect a percentage of what is owed. What we can do is the income tax administrator, and we've talked about this, and she knows what she can do. The income tax administrator can order those companies to open their books and show them to her. She can then take that information and send it to the Attorney General's office to collect on it. Because they'll show these employees, their income tax wasn't withheld from them, and they should have been subject to. The way we even found out about it was, we had people that lived in New Philadelphia that filed their income tax and showed they worked at this business and no income tax was withheld. And so she had to do an estimate based on that, and I authorized her to turn that into the Attorney General's office. Where the prosecutor's office comes in is if they fail to comply with a lawful order from the income tax administrator, which she has the authority to order that those books be opened to her, then I can take the manager, hold him in contempt of court, and the court's gonna order that manager to do it or face potential jail and a $1,000 fine. So that's how that's gonna be done. We can't prosecute him criminally. Our revised code doesn't permit it. And you're gonna get a memo says all this again.
I'd say that, yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
Yep,
more revenue.
absolutely.
That's out there. Yeah. It might not be a lot, but anything helps right now.
Mhm.
Well, I know the income tax administrator, just when we met a couple weeks ago, I authorized her to go ahead and turn in for collection, because she was able to estimate what it would have been, because they filed their income tax and they include their W-2 for it, which shows that it wasn't withheld. So she was able to send that all in for collection from the Attorney General's office. The Attorney General's office does a fantastic job they do a much better job of getting that money than we could ever do through courts. Because they have the authority to I don't have the authority to intercept somebody's tax returns and send it, but they do.
Got a lot of authorities. Any other business before this committee?
I would like to add, because we have newly elected council members, the auditor, need to have a swearing-in ceremony.
Well, I was gonna mention that Monday night, we're trying to do
Yeah.
it maybe earlier than our January 12th, I think it would be our first meeting.
I think so,
I think it's at
yeah.
12.
Yeah, it is.
We could do that half hour earlier and we could do the swearing
Will you
in.
swear me in, Martha?
Absolutely.
Cause you got all
Yeah, we all,
four,
yeah.
all four council
All
members,
four-
the auditor.
All four
And
wards.
then I need to
Treasurer.
get-
If you have somebody,
Treasurer, right.
Yes.
judge or somebody like that you like, or, you know, whatever.
I'm good with mine. It's all right. Whatever's easiest.
But yeah, I was gonna bring it up Monday night when everybody's
Okay.
here.
Harvey, you just do
Well, that's all four
the,
wards.
I state your name, right?
I state your name. Just don't say, state your name.
Any other business? Again, thank you all for giving up your Wednesday evening. I certainly appreciate it. It's not easy. It's not fun. That's why we get to do it. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
And we are in adjournment at 5, let's call it 15.
You got the boss here with